It just feels like one of those nights. All right, so this is an open mic. I'm going to be giving you, a very open mic performance tonight. I just pulled out a bunch of old notes. You have no idea where they're going to lead sometimes, but we're going to do this together. A lot of it's going to be, a swing and a miss. That's all right. Let's see, we got 10 people in the room. That's sometimes the best number to have for this type of thing. Because really, there's nothing to lose at this point. All right. Let's see here. I also got some little jokes I noticed. All right. There's so many fun things in here I want to talk about. Before we really get into any jokes, I just kind of want to talk about this little thing. You have those precious moments in life, very specific. It's a very specific feeling, and it only lasts for a brief moment. For example, like, when you're laying on your back in bed, and you're like deciding if you want to roll over to your left or your right, and you choose, and then your decision ends up being the right one, and it's just like, oh man, I knew it, and then you're asleep again. It's just the fleeting feeling of pure bliss, Another one I get is if the person in front of you is walking really slow, and maybe you're the slow walker, in that case, don't even listen to this, but I'll walk around the person who's walking slow, just in time for the person coming this way to not collide with me, And like you time it just right and you feel so smooth, and it's one of the best moments in life. I really believe so. Another one is, this one could be just me, but when you say you know something, and like you're not sure but like you already said it to these people, and then you find out that you were right and they didn't even know that you were second guessing yourself to begin with, you're like, oh man, that's a close call right there, but it feels really good. Some of those precious moments. I'm looking for more, but just that specific feeling, so hopefully I get more soon. We'll see. We will see. I like playing Hangman. I think Hangman's a really fun game. I do think it's an interesting concept. Thank you. Taylor's clapping. We play together. It's interesting. You're like, hey, do you like spelling? You're like, I like spelling words. It's a wholesome activity. And you're like, all right, great. You're going to guess the letters, and while you're doing that, I'm going to be drawing this man dying on the page. You're like, well, let's see what death has to do. All right, let's play a spelling game, I guess, One time I was with my grandma, and she was like, man, that's a serious breeze coming through. That's a real serious breeze. I'm like, Grandma, that's called wind. I don't think serious breeze is a real term. Sweet grandma. Let's see. It is nice doing comedy here at the Phoenix Clubhouse because, people are listening, and the seating is there for you. It's for the open mic. I do a lot of mics and shows in bars and stuff, and that's good. It's a good learning experience, but one of the things you'll get is servers walking around. One time I was in the middle of a joke, and it was kind of like a quieter one, and the server is over there. She's like, I got the loaded tots! Who's got the loaded tots? I was like, all right, a new joke, I guess. Let's just move right along. And, I don't blame her. She's making money. That's the name of the game. One of my buddies at work, he was like so mad. He's like, oh man, my ex. Oh, what a B word. And he was like, oh, she's such, oh man. I'm like, well, what happened? He's like, she spent all my money. And I was like, oh, well, she's like, yeah, she had to go through chemo. I was like, well, that seems like a decent reason to spend some money. I'm like, I think you kind of set that one up a little bit weird. Yes. I don't know who it was. I heard a person say once, like she was like, I have 10 cats and they're so crazy. Like, really, all your cats are crazy, huh? It's just them. Perfect. You guys are great. You guys are doing this. When I was a kid, I had these moments, I'd be around like my uncles and my dad, and like, we know what it is with like when you're at a family get-togethers or drinking, get a little drunk, and they get really excited about stuff. When you're a kid, you hear these drunk adults talk about stuff so excitingly, and you don't really put it together that they're drunk, and that's why they're excited. And it kind of creates this weird thing because, like, let's say my dad was talking about like Honda. He's like, oh, like Honda is it's the best. And then when I'm like 9, I hear this. For the next like 3 years of my life, I'm just convinced Honda is like the best thing in the world. Like, no, Honda, trust me, my dad knows. My dad gets it. He said it. There's a lot of passion there. I think I realized about like even a few months ago that I'm like, a lot of stuff I heard when I was a kid was just drunk adults. I need to reassess the things I think are great because I don't really know. I'm starting from scratch, It's life. Such is life. This one's a little gross. There was one time in my life, who knows what was going on, but I had a pee jug in my room, all right? It happened. That's it. All right? It's an empty gallon. It's full of pee. Is it that laziness? But like, when your friend finds it, you can't really defend it. You're like, you can't defend it. It's like, this is my pee jug. There are many like it, but this one's mine. It's really a lose-lose. I feel like we all just lost a little bit, didn't we? So anyway, okay, crosswalks. I can't seem to be like smooth at a crosswalk. The anxiety I get from a crosswalk, like when I'm walking, I just want everybody to drive. Like, don't worry about me. You keep driving, I'll get through it. But there's something deep inside me that just like feels like I'm dying when I see a whole row of cars stop just so I can walk across. I'm like eating like a candy bar or something. I'm like, I don't have anything going on. I just held up like 20 people's day. And then when I'm driving, it's the same thing though. I'm like, no, please, you walk, and you walk, please. And you walk. No, everybody walks, and I just wish I could figure it out. It's making my life exhausting. Also paranoid. Just like if anyone's even at that crosswalk when you drive, it's like, oh man, please don't. I don't want to get pulled over. People don't think I'm an asshole. Such is life again, you guys. Crosswalks are difficult for me. Apparently, it's a one-way thing here. Okay. If you had to pick, would you rather have to talk like a monkey or a whale for the rest of your life?
Whale.
A whale?
A whale.
I don't even, I asked this question thinking I was like, it was good, but the more I thought about it, I think whale is just the worst answer. I don't think. He's like, oh, like all the time. You can't, it's the worst option. It's the worst option. How's it going, man? You just walked in. I was just going through some little jokey notes, so thanks for coming to open mic. Did you sign up? You signed up tonight? Oh, that's cool, man. Just enjoying the show. That's very noble. Thank you. You guys ever played bag toss? It's like, or cornhole you call it. It's the game in parking lots where there's two boards and there's a hole. There's a hole on each board, right? And it's impossible to get the bag in the hole. That's just about the most humbling game I've ever played because it's prehistoric in its concept. Like, it must be thousands of years old, and I can't seem to figure it out. It's like, all right, so the goal is to get the bag in the hole. Like, all right, and like no one's playing defense. You just got to get it in there, and I can't do it. But I've gotten better. Don't be sad. It's okay. It's a tough life for me. It's very tough being me. This one's interesting. I don't know where this will go. One time I was on an airplane, and this lady walked on with her two young daughters, and they both had French fries and ranch in their hands. I'm like, who let these kids on the plane with ranch and French fries? I don't know if you know anything about airplanes, but it's a tight, concealed area, and just the fact that these kids had ranch, and it was like a hot ranch too. You could tell because they were doing a lot of like movements, like kid movements, and the ranch was in the cup, and like it was like almost like water, so like it was hot. It was wafting around the airplane, all right, and this happened years ago, and it sticks with me. Because it's like people were checking their bags in, but like we have room for ranch on the plane, I think we could say 0 ranch on planes from now on. Again, it's hard being me. This is extremely difficult to be me. Just kind of went through some random ones. I had a roommate in college who could convince me to do anything. We were good friends, but he was very persuasive. He convinced me to buy a brand new motorcycle at the age of 18, which for you younger people, that's a terrible idea. Don't buy a brand new motorcycle when you're 18. If you're gonna get a bike, get an old one you can crash a bunch of times. I got to the dealership, and they're like, you can't get a bike because you have no credit and you have no stable income. But the point is that he got me to the dealership, full sale, like I was ready to get a bike, and thank God they stopped me. So with my friend Andrew, when he wanted to get a fish tank and I didn't want to, I was a cakewalk for him. He had no problem convincing me to get a fish tank. I didn't want one. I think fish tanks are great, but I know that when you get one, it either becomes a big responsibility or you end up with a bunch of dead fish. And we did the first one for a while, and then we did the second one for a really long time. Too long, in fact. I remember one day we got back, and we just kind of came to a head. I was like, man, this is why I didn't want a fish tank. I knew this was going to happen. I knew I would let it go, you would let it go. He's like, man, relax, all right? Let's just take a look. All right, so the way my friend investigates this crime scene is he scoops a fish out of the water, and he just, like the full, wow, that's what you need to do that. What are you trying to figure out exactly? I don't know, you're trying to smell what I ate for lunch or something. But it's like, okay, the thing about this roommate is he can't even brush his teeth without gagging, okay? Like, you'd hear him every morning in the bathroom, a small apartment, he's like, blah, blah, like, Jesus, dude, like, don't brush your teeth so hard or something. I don't know how you fix that. Second thing about this roommate, he, we ate a lot of stuff. We had wings like right before this, fries. I think we had like loaded potato skins. I'm not even kidding you. It was the full thing. So he goes in for that whiff, and just immediately he turns around and just unloads a lot of vomit into the sink. Okay, it happened. And in that moment, as he was puking up, I was like, you know what? I'm glad we got a fish tank. I think this is a really good idea. This is a really good idea. Man, the vomit, it was like the perfect consistency. It really was. Like, I'm not even kidding. Like, if you had heated it up, you could have convinced me it was a stew or something. Like, if you put it out and put a bag of Tostitos next to it, I would have taken a bite, you know? I'm trying to get Tostitos to sponsor that joke. I don't know if they will. Just because they already have their own salsa, you know, you wouldn't want to saturate the market with whatever. That's my dead fish story. It's disgusting. I did find out that the reason he gagged all the time he brushed his teeth was because he brushed his tongue really thoroughly. And then I felt disgusting because I was like, I don't ever brush my tongue. So really, I'm the loser in that story. It's a double lose for me. Let's see here. This is great. You guys are fantastic. There's some sayings that I think are funny, very common sayings. You ever hear people say, he wanted to have his cake and eat it too? You heard that? I just refuse to believe this means anything. People have tried to tell me the meaning. I'm like, yeah, sure, okay. But the problem is, I've never met anybody that just wants to have a cake, you know? Never in my whole life. Cakes have a great chance they're gonna get eaten, and it's like, what's the scenario? Like, oh man, did you hear about the guy? He had a perfectly good cake, and he wanted to eat it. But he also wanted to have it. No, it sounds ridiculous. There's the thing about, if you have nothing nice to say, don't say anything at all. Like, all right, that's cool, but like, how would you get anything done in the world? Sometimes you gotta say mean stuff. I mean, you gotta do it. I mean, it helps. I've received some bad words in my direction since I've been doing stand-up. I'm like, that really hurt, but now I feel like I can watch out for this thing I did, at least learn a little bit. I think even worse than that is being passive, though, like being passive-aggressive about your niceness. Like, that's just way worse. No one wants that. Like, imagine you had a friend who weighed like 800 pounds, and all of his friends wanted to say something like, hey, take care of yourself. But instead they're like, hey, man, me and the guys, we all just got done talking, and we decided that as far as eating and not exercising, you're the best at it, all right? You're the best I know, that's for sure. We love you. College was fun, though. I had a good time. I did go to college. I didn't finish, but I went, and that's what counts, right? That's what I always say. She likes that one. That's great. Your laughter is contagious. I did learn a lot, even though I didn't finish school. I learned some very valuable information. I learned that if you get hit by a campus bus, you get a free year of tuition. What? Yeah. 19-year-old version of me says, I'm gonna get hit by a bus. You're losing money if you don't get hit by a bus, you know? I think it's one of the best things you can do for yourself, financially. I went to a community college, so that explains why people were talking about that. Because I think people who go to community college are also the same people who want like golden tickets out of life, you know? Because I know I am. That's me. Okay, so it's fine. Also, it lets you know that I would have saved, had I got hit by a bus, I would have saved $4,000, you know? And all I had to do was get hit by a bus. Like, how would you do it, though? Like, how would you? Like, sir, if you had to get hit by a bus, like how would you go about it? What do you think you'd...
Wear the bus stop all day, and then just jump.
And then just jump. All right. Trip, that's actually, you could, like, untie your shoe or something. That's actually a solid answer.
Have a friend push you.
Have a friend push you. They'd be like, well, who is that guy? Like, my friend? Like, he pushed you in front of shady. No, that's good. No, that's a fair answer. I've gotten some ridiculous answers on that. I had one lady yell out, she was like, wear a helmet! I was like, well, that would be probably the most obvious route you could go. Like, you did get hit by a bus, but you were wearing like a full hockey outfit, you know, I don't shove to the bus route in a goalie's mask or something. I had another person yell out, I would jump from a moving car. I was like, you could do it that way. I was trying to get hit by a bus, not absolutely destroyed by one. I'm not trying to paint a bus red right now, you know. That's a joke about me exploding on the front of the bus and covering in blood. That's what that means. It's graphic stuff. Another thing I heard, and I think this is true. Okay, well, by the way, obviously I never got hit by the bus, all right? But like 4,000, whatever it was. Could you imagine what you do with $4,000? Like, man, like I would have the nicest wheelchair. I would make sure I'd spend it all on a wheelchair, honestly, and that would show them that I got the best of them. That's right. Another thing I heard around school, around community college, was that if your roommate commits suicide, then you get a free year of rent. I've heard this one, and that's, you know, it's like, wow, right? Like, as though it's any type of compensation, right? Like, man, we got a free year of rent. That was the best year of school. And all I had to do was walk in on dead Patrick, my best friend Patrick. That one hurt. That one fell. Yeah, it's that one's been quieting down the room lately. I will admit that. But you know, that's college life. You hear some weird stuff. Anyways, there I was walking around campus with a helmet on, you know, asking random strangers how they're holding up in life, and if they're looking for a roommate next semester, you know.
God.
It's terrible, I know. No, you're right. You are right. Everyone here is laughing. We're all terrible people. You're a good person. You're a good person. Let's see what else we got in here. We got some dirty ones. I'll pass over those. We don't need that tonight. I heard someone say they want the dirty ones. I'm not gonna be too gross about it, all right? But can we handle? Are we cool with that? Is that all right? Can we tell a little? I'm not overtly disgusting. All right, we got a very half-assed blue. I think that's the green light for me, just to unleash the nastiest set of jokes I've ever told. You guys are great.
That's a perfect metaphor.
Okay. I have this Bronco. It's a big truck. It's on a lift kit. It's not mine. It's my friend's. All right. I don't have anything against big trucks or anything. I'm borrowing this truck from my friend, and it has no door handles on the inside, right? And it's like in my eyes when I first got it, I'm like, hey, you know, sweet. This is a free truck. I get to drive around. No door handles. That's just like an inconvenience at most. You know, like what's the big deal? Within like a week of having it, I picked up one of my friends, and she got in. And she's like, Michael, what are you driving around? I'm like, well, this is just like a truck. She's like, Michael, this is a rape truck. I'm like, oh, okay, all right, well, made me really self-conscious, all right, driving around driving a rape truck, all right? I don't want to be, people are looking at me, it used to be like, people would look at me like, oh, maybe they like the truck. I don't know. It does have a bad vibe to it. I don't drive it around anymore. Same truck, though. You know, people, there's a stereotype about big trucks, little penises, right? That's the thing people say. And I heard some girls say this, like, oh, big truck, tiny dick. I'm like, you know, okay, like, do you want to find out? And they were like, oh my God. I was like, oh, I'm sorry, did I cross the line just now? Because you were talking about my penis. I don't think there's any double standard here to protect you. Like, if you can talk about it, I can talk about it. I don't know. Any big truck owners in the crowd, feel free to just ask them if they want to see it. It's true. If they can talk about it, you can. I'm not like a male right activist or anything. I don't know what we're even getting at now. Let's see here. Can you make wine if you have athlete's foot? I don't know. If you don't know, you have to stomp with your bare feet in the grapes to make wine, and athlete's foot is an infection on your feet, so now you know both those things. Younger ears in the audience, explaining your jokes is not a bad thing. This wine is a little, something extra to it, My throat's scratchy. What is this? I don't know. Let's see, what are we even looking at now? I work for some greenhouses. I love my job. Sometimes with this type of work, though, you have to do repetitive tasks. Maybe they're kind of boring. For example, one of these is filling a bunch of dirt trays up. You just fill them with dirt and you move on because they're getting ready for seeds. It's not glamorous, but you got to do it, and it's very repetitive. You'll do it for hours on end. So I'm doing this with a coworker, Gary. Now, Gary is an older gentleman. He's been working there for a very long time, and to put it into perspective, this is his story. He's like, well, my brother went off to the Vietnam War, and I asked if he needed help around the greenhouses. And that's how long Gary has been at the greenhouses, since the Vietnam War. So Gary knows a lot, he's a really nice guy, and I could never imagine having a confrontation with Gary. So I'm filling my trays, Gary is filling his trays. It's innocent, but in my head, it becomes this like ferocious race. I don't know where it stems from, but in my head, I'm like, oh, I'm gonna fill these dirt trays so fast. I don't know how fast exactly, but faster than Gary. Gary's not gonna stand a chance. And then when I finish my dirt trays first, it just like reaffirms everything in my head. I'm like, yeah, that's right, old timer. Out with the old and with the new. You old bitch. But when it gets weird is when Gary finishes his trays first, which I say happens about half the time. Because when Gary finishes, in my head, I'm like, wow, it's not a race, Gary. Someone's trying really hard, and it's you. It's petty thoughts. It's good to be aware of what you think. Sometimes you'll find things you don't like, but I think it'll help you grow as a person. But that's not what I'm here to talk about. Oh, man. People tell me I look like Jason Bateman. I've received that a handful of times. That was enough. You were like, I can see it. Just a little bit. That's all I needed. Okay, and that's fine. I don't care if I do or don't. But like, I'll take it if I do, because I'm like, Jason Bateman's like a little bit above average looking. I think that's a compliment. I'll take it. And people also tell me I look like Ed Sheeran. No, the same person? Yeah, okay. I've received a few Ed Sheerans over the years. I'm like, he's a nice fella. He's not much of a look. Like, he's not ugly. He's just like, maybe it's just like the inverse of Jason Bateman. So that's my exchange rate is like, if I can get one Jason Bateman for every one Ed Sheeran, I'm like, I'm right down the middle, I'll break even, and I'll take it. All right, and that's about where it was. And then one day, my grandma gave me her opinion. She's like, Michael, you know who you remind me of? I said, who, Grandma? She said, Bradley Cooper. Sweet, sweet grandma. Thank you. If you don't know who Bradley Cooper is, he is as handsome as his name, all right? He's a very handsome guy. The ladies love him. And let's put it this way. I think one Bradley Cooper is worth like one Jason Bateman and two Ed Sheerans. I think that's my exchange rate, and I'm sticking to it. But obviously, she's my grandma, so there's a bias there. So I'm thinking, all right, I broke even still. And then about a month ago, Gary from work, an older gentleman, he said, Michael, you know who you remind me of? I asked who. He said, Bradley Cooper. I was like, oh, man. Well, everybody, it's official. The votes are in. The scores have been counted, and it's official. Old people think I'm hot. It's a great day for me. You guys, this has been so much fun. You guys have been a great crowd. We have a list full of people playing some music, maybe doing some poetry.
Make some noise,
you
you guys,
Thank
for this
you.
funny guy. Michael Longnecker, your host tonight.
perceptive to all my very witty jokes and good jokes. So, first up, we have a guy. He's here all the time. He's here every single time I'm here. I think he's here every single Wednesday, actually. He goes by the name of Chase Valentine. Everybody give it up for Chase Valentine.